Hello, everyone. Welcome to CBB 105, Brewery Management Fundamentals. My name is Mutaz Kuja. I'm a professor of operations management at UNCC, and I have been teaching operations, I think, 30 years now. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the basics of operations management. And it's going to be, in particular, kind of thing, we'll try to relate some of it to the brewery business. So, the topics we're going to cover today is something I usually would spend 18 hours, 19 hours on in a regular class. We have 4 to 6 hours to cover everything. So obviously we're going to condense, we're going to try to stick to the essentials in this class, but you'll get a flavor of what can be done with operations management, how can it apply to your business. You will see that a lot of the concepts we'll learn applies to all businesses, whether it's a brewery business, whether it's an assembly business, whether it is hard manufacturing or services. The concepts apply to many of them. One unique aspect of your business might be capacity management because of the way beer is made, the fermentation process, the different capacities of the vats you use, and so on. That might create some unique aspects there. But all the other aspects are going to really apply in general, all the concepts. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin a little bit by looking at the transformation process. And in general, what you're going to have is a set of inputs. These inputs go into some process, transformation process. And out of that, you're going to get some outputs. And you can think of, for example, car assembly. If you take that, you're going to have transmissions, tires, chassis, and so on. They go in. You have the assembly process, and you're going to have finished cars. And you can think of many. You can think of the university. Inputs are students. You have a transformation processes, which is the learning. You have graduates on the other side. So there are many transformation processes. In your business, the transformation process generally is you have the inputs. Your inputs here might be a little bit different. So here you'll have barley. Yeast, hops, I think that's with a P, and water, and all of these are going to go into some transformation process. And now you're going to have, I'm going to just draw one, beer. But in your case, you have different beers. You have dark, you have maybe wheat beer, maybe you have all kind of different beers. You have maybe beers that are produced in bottles, some put in kegs, some goes to grocery stores, some go to specialty stores. So, but in general, you have that. Now, if you look at this process and you think about it in general, what you have to do is, at this side of it here, for all the type of beers, you have to worry about forecasting your demand, and you have to worry about managing your inventory. Managing, just a G here, managing inventory. So these are the things that you want to do with regard to your end products. Forecast the demand, and also based on your forecast, manage your inventory. How much should I make of the different beers, when, and so that way you will have an idea. And that's going to be based on the forecast. It's going to be based on your forecast. Then on this side, you have to manage your raw materials. So here you have to manage your inventory. So here, The question is, how much should you order of these? When should you order them? How much should you keep on hand, and so on? And then this process here has to do with all the resources you're going to apply. And this will be resources you'll apply is people, energy, packaging, all other things you have to apply here to go through this process. So we're going to learn about forecasting. We're going to learn about managing inventory. We're going to learn a little bit about capacity management. And within this whole system, you have to ensure that quality is maintained. Good quality is maintained. That applies to everything in the system. So we're going to learn basically here, in sum, 4 things: forecasting, inventory management, capacity, a little bit of capacity planning, and managing quality. So in forecasting, we're going to have 5 modules altogether. The first module is measuring forecast accuracy. And here you'll just learn how to measure how good is a forecast, because you're going to make decisions based on that forecast. And the more accurate you are, the more confident you are in those decisions. So you want to get a measure of forecast accuracy. The second module, Module 2, will give you an overview of forecasting methods. What is available out there? What are the different methods? We may not cover, we'll certainly not cover all of them, but you'll get an idea of what is out there. The next is 3, where you'll learn what we call smoothing techniques. These are for short-term forecasts, and for those, they're simple, but they're very useful. And then we will deal with the 4th forecasting module. There, we're dealing with data that has trends, increasing, decreasing over time. And finally, in the 5th module, in forecasting, you're going to learn about how to use regression to build causal models, where some variables used to predict demand. So maybe demand for beer is higher during the summer because of the temperature. Maybe demand for beer is positively correlated to temperature, for example, something of that nature. So these are the modules in forecasting. Then in inventory management, we're going to have 4 modules altogether. All right, the first module is an overview of inventory management, just an overview in general. So we'll talk about inventory costs, inventory systems, and so on. The second module, we'll talk about, Module 2, we'll talk about the type of inventory models, okay? And here we look at inventory type of inventory models. You're going to have single period news vendor, where inventory is held for only 1 period. That's why we call it the news vendor. So for example, in these models, inventory is held for 1 period. If you don't sell it, you have to liquidate it or get rid of it. So think of produce, think of milk cartons at a grocery store, or even fashion. If Belk or if other store hold this shirt at the end of the season, if they don't sell it, they're going to liquidate it. They're going to put it on sale below cost. Same concept might apply to beer. I see a lot of times summer brew or winter brew or whatever seasonal things have to do with Halloween, and that brew, the season passes, and I see it for 60, 70% off at the store. So that's single period. Then you have multi-period models where you keep ordering inventory. So for example, the glasses or the bottles you use to fill the beer, you have 2,000 left, and or 5,000 left, you may get another 10,000. You still use those 5,000. It's not like a newspaper where it's no longer useful. So that will be types of inventory model. The third module, Module 3, we will go through a basic multi-period model. I'll pick the simplest model and show you how we go through it. Now, if you need other models where there's more features, where there's quantity discounts, when there is all sort of stuff variations, you know how to build on that. And then we will deal with separately, we'll deal with the single period model, and that will be the 4th module. That would be our inventory review. Then capacity has only 1 module, and that is basically going to give you just different measures of capacity, how can you add capacity, some strategic issues in capacities. But we're not going to get into more details in that because it's quite involved and it will require a lot more time. All right, so now we go to the modules for quality management. For quality management, you're going to have a total of 4 modules. The first module is just simply background, okay, on the Z table and the Z distribution. You need that in order to look at the normal curve and areas, and you can see that as you go through the module. So the next module will be overview of quality control, and for overview of quality control, we're going to talk about what's quality, variations in a process. So if you think about, take a machine that's filling the beer bottles and supposed to have 12 ounces, let's say, per bottle. You're not going to find a single bottle that have 12.00 ounces. Some are going to have less, some are more. So variations, some of them are normal, but some of them are assignable cause. We have to learn how to separate those because our goal is to monitor a process and stop it when it's not functioning properly. So we'll learn about variations in the overview. After we do that, we go to the third module, which is the statistical quality control, and now we're dealing with control charts for variables, things that are continuous on a scale. So for example, the weight of liquid in a bottle, that's a variable, okay? For the temperature is a continuous variable, okay? But on the other hand, in the next module, which is module 4, we'll deal with attributes. Attributes are things that are countable. So if you get a shipment of 10,000 bottles that you're going to use in your filling process, then each bottle could be good or bad, and the number of broken or chipped bottles. So if you have a bottle, could be broken or it could be unbroken, or chipped, unchipped. So the number could be 0, 1, 2, all the way up to 10,000. That's an attribute now. Now we're dealing with attributes, and in that case, those have also another way of building quality control charts for them. So putting all of these together gives you a kind of a primer or the basics of ops management. There's much more, obviously, but hopefully this material will be useful to you. At the end, you will find that I have made up an assignment for problems. They're going to be posted on Canvas with the rest of the videos, and there will be a box for you to submit those back. There will be a due date. You can open them in Excel. There will be problems 1, 2, 3, 4, tabs for each of them. You can solve the problem right on Excel, and then you submit them by the date that I give you in that box. It's a very easy process to do. Throughout this whole thing, you will have my information on Canvas, my email, my phone numbers. If I can be of help in anything, if you have any clarification questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I hope you get some useful information from the videos, and hopefully I'll hear from you. If you have any questions, I'll be again more than glad to answer it. Thank you.